Hope we've got a good connection. We went on live a few days ago painting this piece. We had a live demo in the store. Tanglewood Works right here in Hyattsville for those of you who are local. I'm going to go over here and make sure I answer any comments you guys have. So we need to put the wax on. Now, I've already put a little bit on, but it is such a dramatic change when you put wax over really chalky paints. I always like to go live when I do this because I know many of you are trying out these paints, having a lot of fun with them, and freaking out when you put the wax on because it's not what you thought it was going to be. It's fine. It's fine. I'm here for you. Okay, so basically, I've already put a little bit of wax here, but even though I've already put some right here, it's still, see that? It's still darkening up. It's still darkening up, and that wasn't even as dark as it was. So what I like to do, take one of your brushes. You can use any kind of brush. This is a pretty good one, though, because it's nice and flat and pretty wide. And go, what Debbie tells us is to kind of go in little circles, okay? Because what you want to do is really dig the wax into the crevices of the paint. Because the wax doesn't sit on top of the paint. It actually kind of goes into the paint, all right, and forms this bond, which is pretty awesome. That's why I really like using wax on painted furniture. So you can see here, this isn't darkening as much because I put some on, but I'm going to pull you around to some places that haven't gotten any wax yet. But here, we can pull out so you guys can see how she's doing. She turned out kind of pretty, huh? So this is all the new Debi's Design Diary paints. I'll give you a little rundown of what we used if I can remember all the names. I keep getting them wrong and making them up myself. Cherry Picked is the dark, I keep calling it a plum color, but cherry color on the bottom. I've mixed that with a little bit of Kissing Booth. Blue Iris is in here. And I mixed up and got an olive color by mixing Queen Bee with a little bit of black. So if you watch me or know me, I'm always mixing up all the colors, and now I just have all these new colors to choose from. This really beautiful copper color, I'll go in a little closer for you, is actually Marquee mixed with Queen Bee. Okay, so I got this orange, and then to make it like that copper color, I put in a little bit of Cherry Picked. I know, that's crazy. That's why we are making little samples of all of these and putting them in kits for you, okay? So if you guys are interested and you're like, Sue, how am I going to try out like 8 colors at a time? Like, I can't break the bank. I'm putting together kits for you that have at least 3 colors. Maybe even I'm going to put together some with 6, so you can do that. You can get a small piece and try it all out. So just follow me on tanglewoodworks.com and see all the kits. And we're having a big event this weekend too. You guys who are local, it's the Hyattsville Arts and Ales Festival is all day Saturday. So we are putting everything at 10% off. I'm going to have the kits here. I'm going to have all new DIY paints here. So I'm super excited about that. So enough chatting. Let me show you what's happening here. I'm going to go in. Actually, we can go right there and you guys can kind of see what happens when I put the wax on. Okay, so you see the depth of it right now. Now watch. Look at that. See how dark it gets? The first time I did this, I thought I surely must have done something terribly wrong. But no, it's that's the way it goes on, and it's actually great because then you can tell where you've put the wax on. All right, and you really want to kind of push that in. Let's see here. Hey, Donna. I know the Cherry Picked, I'm really loving it. It's, I thought it was going to be way too dark for me. Because you know me, I love my jewel tones. But it's really, really pretty. It's really pretty. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. It's going to get really dark, and then it's going to lighten back up. Okay, and then you can go back over it and buff it. So the best thing to do is just take, you can use a buffing pad. But any kind of dust-free kind of rag, I use shop towels sometimes, and you just go over and over and over, and you'll get a sheen. And what I like is it's a sheen. It's not shiny. It's just a little bit of a sheen so that the dust won't settle on it. Okay, so that you can kind of, it's smooth. It's smooth to the touch. So let's do a little bit more, maybe with a little better light here. I usually do my lives in my warehouse. But I painted this live in the store, so I'm working out the, so this already had some wax on it. Let's see down there at the bottom. This didn't, right down here. Look, my keys. We usually don't do this right on the floor either, but we work with what we've got. All right, so we get that on there. See how much darker that's getting? Now, it will lighten up, I would say, about 50%. So it's not going to be as light as it was with the chalk paint. And that's why if you guys watched my demo the other day, I showed you the trick to seeing how your colors are turning out. Is to just spritz them with water a little bit so you can really see how your blending is going. All right, so this is already pretty well waxed. See how this is going over this really easily? I'm just getting another little coat on there, making sure I didn't miss anything. Let's go around the side here, and I'll show you this one. All right, see there? So this doesn't have any wax on it at all. Okay? So I've got lots of fun colors going on here. Going kind of in little circles. Now, what happens, because this will happen to you, you're going to put the wax on, or maybe as you're waxing, it didn't blend the way you thought it did once you get the wax on. It doesn't quite look the way you thought it was going to look. Okay? Is your life over? Are all your options lost to you? Here's the truth. When this dries, basically you're not supposed to paint over wax. Why? Because it may resist the paint. But if I painted over this, I'm like, I gotta say, I wish I just had another little layer there. Just get out a sanding block and sand it back just a little bit. And just paint over it and then wax over it. Because you've already, if you were like, so you don't like the whole piece, I might give you a different answer. I might say, girl, you gotta break out the mineral spirits because you're gonna have to take your wax off, you're gonna have to sand it, and you're gonna have to repaint it. But if you really just wanna go back in there and touch up an area here or there, sand it a little bit and then just go back over with the paint, and then you're going to kind of sandwich that new paint layer in with the wax. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. I try not to make a habit of that, but I don't want you scared to put your wax on. I think some people get stuck and they're like, oh my God, I don't know if it's perfect yet. I don't know if it's perfect yet. And I can't paint over wax. So like they just never finish their piece. I've seen it happen. So let's not be that scared about that, okay? Let's just put that wax on, stand back and look at it, and if you don't love it, scuff it up a little bit and keep adding that paint. In another video, I'll show you how you can even add some paint to your wax. All right, does that sound fun? Okay, so let me show you what else I'm working on with this piece. Flip it around. All right, so we've got, sorry, I'll hold steady here. So here's the piece. I ended up also adding in some crinoline, and I really liked, I think what I want to do next is where I created that copper paint color. I'm thinking real copper, like, not like real copper, you know what I mean? Like metallic copper, kind of putting it in, sorry, let me get that focused for you. Putting it into these crevices and maybe even having a little bit flow down. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to play with it. But that's why I'm putting, sorry, that's not focusing very well. That's why I want to put the wax on now as my barrier layer. And then if I put a little bit metallic and I don't like it, I can kind of wipe it off. So that's what I got to finish here. I got to finish putting all the wax on. See, it's already drying. It's already lightening up. Oh, and this is, I should tell you, this is the splotchy phase. This is the worst phase. It's like rosacea right here. This is where half of it's dry, half of it's not, and you're like, this is awful. It's all splotchy. That will even itself out. Don't worry about that. See, that's the one with wax on it that hasn't dried, and that one hasn't been waxed yet. So, all right. And now this has a mirror. So now that I've done this whole base, I actually still need to do the top and the mirror. And luckily, the mirror just came apart. Well, not luckily, it was kind of broken. But I went with it and took the mirror out so that I could just paint the back. So I'm going to paint this like this. So I got to kind of have to decide, am I going to do it exactly the same? Am I going to pull out maybe pull out the olive more as I get up top? I don't know. I got to dream about this a little bit, okay? So stay tuned. I'll keep going on here giving you little tips and tricks, but don't be afraid of the wax, kiddos. Don't be afraid of the wax. All right, have a good one.